Hi everyone, welcome back for another IRFU video. So today we're going to bring you a classic French onion soup and we're going to make it from scratch. I'm going to show you how to make your own beef stock, and if you don't want to make your own beef stock, shop bought is fine. We can skip ahead to the part where I'm actually going to make the soup. So to begin with, this is what we actually need for the stock. I've got some lovely fresh marrow bones here. I've got lovely Irish beef oxtail, and then for the mirepoix, we've got some carrots, we've got some leeks, onions, celery, one garlic, tomato puree, some bay leaves. I've got some flat leaf parsley, some thyme, and some red wine. So really, all these ingredients are going to help us to get a really rich beef stock for the soup. To start off the stock, we need to roast off the marrow bones, and we need to roast off the oxtail. Now, this is lovely Irish beef, and actually, what I'm going to do with this afterwards, I'm going to make a hilette, which is like a French pate type dish, and it's just a way to minimize my food waste. I'm going to reintroduce some of the beef fat into the oxtail once I've cooked it, and I'll talk you a little bit more through that later on when we get to it. So I'm going to get them all on the tray. A little bit of olive oil just to coat it, not too much. So there'll be a lot of oil coming out of the bone marrows, and we get those sitting up. So we're bringing it up to a high heat. Now the high heat will caramelize and roast it, and this is where we get the nice colour and depth of flavour and umami into the beef stock. So we're going to put this in the oven now at 200 degrees for about 45 minutes. Alright, so we're about 20 minutes in. It's been roasted at 200 degrees Celsius. I'm just going to put a little bit of a mix up, turn. Just make sure that all sides get evenly browned. Now oxtail is a type of meat, it's lovely and gelatinous, but it needs a lot of cooking, a lot of slow cooking. So by the time we finish cooking it, it's going to be perfect for the rillette that we're going to serve on the side of the soup. Now look here, you can see the bone marrow just starting to come out. You can see the oils and the fats starting to come out of the beef. Now I'm going to use all this up later on. This is going to add a lot of flavour into our dishes. Alright, back into the oven for another 20 minutes. Alright, so I've been roasting for 45 minutes now at 200 degrees. You can see it's getting a lovely caramelization on there. You can see the marrow bone starting to, or the marrow in the marrow bone, is starting to break down now into fat. Just going to turn these again. Look at that, this looks lovely. A nice piece of bread, just dip that into. Okay, the next step is adding the vegetables. So we're going to mix them all in. Now I'm conscious that this tray is not big enough, and we don't want to bunch everything in the top of each other because you want that nice even caramelization. So I'm going to split things in half. I'm going to put half the oxtail into this tray with the marrow bones, and kind of split the vegetables as well, 50-50. Just going to mix all that up. Mix all that lovely tomato puree through the oil as well. Make sure all the vegetables are coated. Next one. We're good to put this in the oven now for another 45 minutes. Alright, so we have another 45 minutes done with the vegetables. So the marrow bones, the oxtail, everything's nice and caramelized, the vegetables nice and caramelized. So I'm going to get everything off now into this big saucepan. Now I know everybody's not going to have a big saucepan like this at home, but if you have two large saucepans, you can split into two. This recipe is for 6 portions. If you want to do for less, you can just split the recipe accordingly. Still have a lot of nice stuff in this tray, so I want to get this out. And to do that, I want to bring the tray back up to the heat. And we're going to do something that we call in the industry deglazing. Is where you add a liquid into the tray when it's hot, and it bubbles up and it captures all these black bits here. See all this part? This is all flavour. This is all flavour you don't want to waste. So that's starting to smoke now. And half that wine in there. Let it bubble. And as you're deglazing, the wine's reducing. So you want to keep scraping to get all these little bits off there. All these little bits of vegetables left, these burnt bits at the bottom. Okay. I'm just going to pour that into the saucepan. All that in together. Put this on again and do it again, just to make sure that I get everything off. Don't leave any of that nice flavour behind. I'm just going to do a little bit of water this time. It's pretty much all there is. Okay. Now another tray. Add in the rest of the red wine, and just do the same thing. sure you get all those little pieces up. Okay, so just get this on the heat. I'm going to add in a tablespoon of black peppercorns, whole. And then we're going to add in the water. You add enough water to cover it. Just going to add in the herbs. The last is the aromatics, the thyme and the parsley. So we're going to bring that up to the heat. When it gets to the boil, we're going to reduce it to a simmer and have it in a low simmer for about 3 hours. Okay, our stock's been lightly simmered now for about 3 hours. Everything's come together. So the next step now is to strain it. You put the bones into a colander on a tray, and as you see, it's still a bit lovely stock in it. So we're going to capture all that stock. Just try and pick out the marrow bones first. My God, these look lovely. Seems to be all the marrow bones. I've just noticed that some of the marrow is still left in the bones. It hasn't fully come out. Now if you leave that cooking for a lot longer, all the marrow will actually break down and come out of it. So what I want to do is I want to push it out. I don't want to waste it. So I want to take this out until we have nothing left. Now this is all flavour and this will really enrich the relay. Now it's gone now. See, there's nothing more I can use in that. As well. So that's it for the marrow bones. We've taken all the marrow out of the bones. There's nothing left there. Only something for your dog to chew on. I want you to try and just squeeze all that stock out of here through the colander. Make sure you get every little drop. If it's cold enough, you can even use your hand. Yeah, that's it. So next I want to look at getting all the nice oxtail out. Now the meat of the oxtail is just falling off. It's lovely and tender. This is exactly what I want. You've seen the little bits of meat, just grab them. Yeah. So that's everything out now. Now that's all I have to do is just strain the vegetables out. I'm just going to leave this oxtail to the side, just to cool down. It's still a little bit hot to work with. Throw this into here. Lovely, lovely stock. If you see any more meat while you're straining, just separate it from the veg and add it with the rest of the oxtail. Okay. Now, just going to leave that to dry. So we've just got most of the vegetables out. Now it's time to get just the last bit strained. And I'm going to strain the last bit just through a fine sieve. So you get all those little bits out of it, so you have a nice kind of clear stock. So we're just going to get this into the saucepan. Finish off the stewing. Press all the vegetables through the colander just to make sure you get every drop of stock. Strain the stock back into here again. We'll add this in. And then we're going to bring this up. Bring it on back onto the heat. And reduce it down to where you get about 2 litres. So before the stock starts to boil, you can see all this lovely oil on top. This is all flavour. I want to capture this. Now I just want to take a little bit off of the ladle. Skim some of the fat off the top. Now I'm going to use a little bit of this for the fillet, but I'm also going to use a little bit of the base for the soup to go in with the butter when we start frying off the onions. There we go. So that's what we're left with. Alright, so our beef stock's on now reducing. We have about just over 2 litres there. I need between 1.5 and 2 litres for 6 portions of French onion soup. So I'm going to let that simmer gently for maybe half an hour till it gets down to that amount. So the beef stock's done. Tune in to the next video to learn how to actually make the French onion soup.